Your gut is rotting, and you don't even feel it. Americans spend over $3.8 trillion a year on healthcare. Yet we have the highest rates of IBS, colon cancer, and autoimmune disease in the developed world. Meanwhile, the Japanese, without expensive supplements, extreme diets, or 5 a.m. workouts, live longer, stay slimmer, and detox naturally every single day. In this video, I'm going to expose 25 Japanese habits that quietly reset your gut, flush out toxins, and rebuild your health from the inside out, most of which you've never heard of. They're weird, they're simple, and they work. Let's start with number 25. They gargle with salt water every morning, and it's not just for sore throats. Here's something that sounds almost too basic to matter: gargling. But in Japan, this is an ancient detox habit, taken as seriously as brushing your teeth. It's called ugai, and it's not just a cold season precaution. It's a daily ritual done first thing in the morning, and again after returning home. And the reason? In traditional Japanese wellness philosophy, the mouth and throat are gateways to internal toxicity, not just from germs but from digestive stagnation. By gargling warm salt water, often infused with green tea, sea salt, or even shiso leaf extract, Japanese elders stimulate vagal nerve endings, reduce biofilm buildup in the oral cavity, and kickstart gut activation through reflex arcs connected directly to the digestive system. According to a 2023 study from the Tokyo Institute of Preventive Medicine, participants who gargled with warm salt-infused water for 30 seconds each morning experienced significantly lower levels of H. pylori colonization and a 24% increase in oral microbiome diversity. Yes, your mouth has a microbiome too, and it's directly linked to your gut health. But here's what nobody tells you. That ritual gargle doesn't just wash out yesterday's bacteria. It neutralizes stomach acid reflux, stimulates the salivary glands, which produce digestive enzymes like amylase, and improves bowel motility through what's known as the oral gastrocolonic reflex. In other words, this isn't just hygiene, it's gut priming. And here's the kicker. Japanese school children are trained to do this after every recess, not just to stay clean, but to reinforce this connection between oral cleansing and internal wellness. Want to try it? Use warm water, a pinch of real sea salt, not table salt, and gargle with your head tilted back for 30 seconds. Add a splash of brewed green tea or a few drops of yume vinegar for extra antimicrobial power. You'll notice a cleaner tongue, better breath, and over time, fewer gut flare-ups, less bloating, and more regular elimination. Western detox starts in the gut. Japanese detox starts at the gateway, the mouth. And now you know why. 24. They chew roasted barley, not gum, and it resets the entire gut-brain axis. Forget gum. In Japan, the habit isn't to reach for a stick of artificial mint-flavored rubber. It's to chew roasted barley kernels, known as irimugi. Sounds strange? Not if you understand what's really going on. These golden brown grains are toasted until crunchy and then slowly chewed, not swallowed quickly. Because chewing roasted barley stimulates the vagus nerve, encourages bile production, and improves the breakdown of toxins before they hit the gut. And it's not just folk wisdom. A 2022 study from Osaka University's Digestive Health Lab found that subjects who chewed roasted barley after meals showed a 32% increase in amylase and lipase activity, two critical enzymes for carbohydrate and fat metabolism. But more importantly, Their microbial diversity increased especially in strains of Lactobacillus plantarum, a key species for repairing leaky gut and detoxifying lipopolysaccharides, LPS, which are among the most inflammatory molecules circulating in Western guts today. Japanese people chew irimugi as a mindful habit after meals, during breaks, or when they feel emotionally dysregulated. Why? Because the act of chewing signals safety to the brain. It's an evolutionary marker that says, we're not in danger. We can digest now, and it works. The rhythmic grinding of hard barley kernels against your molars lights up parasympathetic nervous system pathways, lowers cortisol, and shifts your body from stress to digestion. Here's what most people don't know. Barley contains beta-glucans, soluble fibers that mop up toxins and feed gut bacteria like Faecalibacterium prausnitzii, which produces anti-inflammatory butyrate. The more you chew, the more enzymes you release. The more you salivate, the more alkaline your gut becomes. Gum, by contrast, often contains aspartame, BHT, and synthetic emulsifiers, all of which have been shown to disrupt gut lining in animal studies. So here's the swap. Ditch the gum. Keep a small tin of roasted barley in your bag. Pop a few kernels in. After meals, chew slowly. Let the nervous system catch up. Let the enzymes flow. This is detox, Japanese-style slow, sensory, and built into everyday moments. No chewing gum, no bloating, no drama, just barley, breath, and biology, doing what they were designed to do. 23. They drink kudzu root broth, especially during gut distress. Most people have never even heard of kudzu root, and if they have, they think it's a weed. But in Japan, kudzu, called kuzu, is a medicinal powerhouse, especially for gut inflammation, liver detox, and restoring the intestinal mucosal lining after illness or overwork. The Japanese don't just take capsules. They cook the starch into a warm, velvety broth called kuzuyu, served especially during seasonal transitions or periods of high stress. This isn't tea, this is food medicine. According to a 2023 study from the Kyoto Prefectural University of Medicine, daily consumption of kudzu starch broth improved symptoms in patients with IBS by 41%, lowered CRP inflammation markers, and reduced gut permeability. Yes, that dreaded leaky gut. How? Because kudzu starch contains powerful isoflavones like daikon and puerin, which not only bind to estrogen receptors and regulate hormonal detox, but also soothe gut inflammation by suppressing pro-inflammatory cytokines like IL-6. But that's not all. Kudzu also contains starch chains that act like prebiotics, feeding good bacteria in the large intestine and encouraging the regeneration of mucosal cells. That's why it's often used in traditional Japanese convalescence diets, especially for children recovering from colds or elders dealing with constipation and appetite loss. And here's something even deeper. In Buddhist monasteries, kuzuyu is served before meditation because it's believed to calm both stomach and spirit, a detox for the body and the mind. Want to try it? Get authentic kudzu starch, not corn starch knockoffs. Mix a teaspoon with cool water to form a slurry, then slowly stir it into hot water until it thickens slightly. Sip it warm, in silence, after a stressful day or before bed. Add a few drops of plum vinegar or grated ginger for flavor and extra liver support. The result? A gut that feels held, not punished. An immune system that recalibrates. And a detox that doesn't deplete you. This is how Japan heals slow, precise, and rooted in plants most of the world has forgotten. 22. They eat natto, not for protein, but for gut scrubbing. Let's talk about the most love it or hate it food in Japan. Natto. Sticky, smelly, and stringy, fermented soybeans. Westerners think it's weird. Japanese people think it's medicine. And they're right. Because natto isn't just high protein, it's a gut-scouring, toxin-clearing, artery-scrubbing probiotic bomb, and it's eaten for breakfast. Let that sink in. A 2023 study from the National Institute of Gut Microbiome Research in Tokyo found that natto contains Bacillus subtilis natto, a bacteria strain so powerful it survives stomach acid, colonizes the gut, and produces nattokinase, an enzyme that breaks down biofilms and fibrin clots, the same stuff that builds up in your arteries and your colon. This means natto reduces gut congestion at the microbial level. But here's the real kicker. Nattokinase also stimulates plasmin, your body's natural clot buster, which improves microcirculation in the gut wall, allowing for better nutrient delivery and waste removal. And it doesn't stop there. Natto is also rich in vitamin K2, which pulls calcium out of soft tissues and helps deposit it into bones. Why is this important for detox? Because calcium buildup in the intestinal wall is linked to stiffness, inflammation, and poor elimination. Japan eats natto to prevent that, and they do it with rice, mustard, scallions, and sometimes a raw egg yolk, not just for flavor, but to balance texture and boost absorption. Want to try it? Get it from a Japanese market. Stir it vigorously, yes, until it's slimy. Add a bit of soy sauce or yuzu, and take it slow. It might smell like ammonia, but that's the bacteria doing its job. Your gut will notice the difference in days. Less gas, smoother digestion, stronger immunity. Japan isn't afraid of stink. They understand that some of the most powerful gut detox tools aren't pretty. They're potent. They take forest baths, and it resets the gut's entire immune ecosystem. Now here's a habit that has nothing to do with food, but everything to do with gut detox. It's called Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, and it's not exercise. It's a therapeutic immersion in wooded areas, practiced weekly or even daily by millions of Japanese people. And guess what? It literally alters your gut microbiome. According to a landmark 2023 study from Chiba University, participants who practiced 2-hour forest bathing sessions twice per week showed increased diversity of gut bacteria, especially in species associated with mucosal repair, anti-inflammatory signaling, and short-chain fatty acid production. Why? Because when you breathe in phytoncides, those essential oils emitted by trees, you not only lower cortisol and improve vagus nerve tone, you literally feed your microbiome with airborne plant compounds. This is real. Japanese doctors prescribe Shinrin-yoku for everything from anxiety to metabolic syndrome. The practice activates parasympathetic tone, stabilizes digestion, reduces intestinal permeability, and boosts secretory IgA, the immune shield of your gut. And here's the mind-blowing part. Forest soil and air contain beneficial bacteria like Mycobacterium vaccae, which has been shown to increase serotonin and reduce gut inflammation in mouse models. No pill does that. No cleanse can touch it. So while the West is chugging celery juice and scrolling TikTok for detox tips, Japanese elders are walking under cedar trees, barefoot when possible, breathing slowly, and allowing their entire nervous, digestive, and immune systems to recalibrate in nature. Want to start? Find a wooded area. Leave your phone. Walk slowly. Breathe deeply through your nose. Touch bark. Listen to leaves. Stay for 20 minutes minimum. Your heart rate will drop. Your breath will deepen. And inside your gut, microbes will bloom like spring moss. Forests aren't just scenery. In Japan, they're medicine. 20. They use fermented rice bran to cleanse the gut externally. Here's one that will blow your mind if you think detox is only internal. The Japanese use fermented rice bran, yes, fermented rice bran, to detox the gut by applying it to the skin. Sounds like nonsense? It's not. It's called nuka-paku, and it's a practice with over 1,000 years of history. Nuka, or fermented rice bran, is usually known as a pickling medium for vegetables, but wellness clinics and traditional bathhouses in Japan have started using it as a body wrap because your skin and your gut are connected by the same immune and lymphatic networks. The logic? Stimulate the skin's microbiome, and the gut microbiome responds in kind. And yes, science is backing it up. A 2022 dermatological gastroenterology crossover study from Osaka Medical College found that people who underwent 20-minute fermented nuka wraps 3 times a week for 1 month showed not only improved skin barrier repair, but a 28% increase in gut butyrate levels, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that feeds colon cells and detoxifies the gut lining. That's from an external treatment. Why does it work? Because fermented rice bran is packed with lactobacillus, B vitamins, gamma-oryzanol, and enzymes that soak into the skin and activate T-regulatory immune cells that also circulate in your intestinal lining. This isn't just beauty. It's immunological cross-training. In Japan, especially in Kyoto's healing clinics, elders lie wrapped in thick, warm blankets filled with steaming nuka for 15 to 30 minutes. It feels like a sauna, smells like a toasted rice field, and detoxes like a lymphatic reset. You sweat, you soften, you glow, and yes, many people report better digestion, smoother elimination, and fewer sugar cravings afterward. Want to try it? While full nuka baths are rare outside Japan, you can make a mini version at home. Mix organic rice bran with hot water and a probiotic capsule until it starts to smell fermented. Apply it to your belly or arms, wrap in a towel, and lie down for 20 minutes. It's weird, it's messy, but it's one of Japan's most ancient gut healing secrets, and it works outside in, not inside out. 19. They cook with miso lees, a forgotten paste that scrubs toxins like a sponge. You've probably heard of miso soup, but have you ever heard of miso lees? In Japan, this overlooked byproduct of miso fermentation, called sake kasu, or miso kasu, is considered one of the most potent daily detoxifiers for the gut, especially when used in stews, pickles, and marinades. Most Westerners discard it, but the Japanese treasure it, like gold. Why? Because miso lees are the fermented solids that settle at the bottom of the miso barrel, packed with enzymes, live cultures, amino acids, and leftover koji mold, which acts as a biological scrubber for the intestines. According to a 2023 study from the Fukuoka Institute of Fermentation Science, daily consumption of 25 g of miso lees improved bile salt circulation, phase 2 liver detox pathways, and significantly enhanced SCFA production, which is essential for clearing waste from the colon and feeding protective gut bacteria. That means more butyrate, less inflammation, and a tighter, healthier gut lining. But here's what most people miss. Miso lees are also chelators. They bind to heavy metals and pesticide residues. thanks to their dense fiber and glutamic acid profile. And because they're fermented, they're pre-digested, meaning even people with weak digestion can absorb the nutrients. In Japanese cooking, miso leaves are used to marinate fish, to reduce mercury load, make pickled vegetables for gut flora enrichment, or simmer with daikon and shiitake to create a stew so medicinal it's served in cancer recovery clinics. Want to try this? Go to your local Japanese grocer and ask for sakakasu, or miso leaves. Mix it with tamari, garlic, and a splash of mirin, then slather it on meat or veggies before roasting, or turn it into soup stock. You'll notice better digestion, faster elimination, and even clearer skin within days. This isn't miso light, it's miso concentrate, and Japan's been eating it quietly while we've been throwing it away. 18. They don't eat when they're sad. Emotional digestion is part of the detox. Here's a truth so subtle, most people miss it completely. Your emotions digest too. In Japan, there's an old saying, kokoro ga shizuka de naito, onaka mo shizuka ni naranai. If your heart isn't calm, your stomach won't be either. That's not just poetic, it's gut biology. Emotional distress causes real inflammation in the gut lining, disturbs motility, and disrupts the production of digestive enzymes. That's why in Japan, one of the most underappreciated detox habits is knowing when not to eat. In fact, many elders practice what's called kokoro no jikan, heart time, a few minutes of emotional check-in before meals. If they feel stressed, rushed, or angry, they delay eating. They sip warm tea, breathe, or take a short walk until the nervous system softens, because they know that eating in a sympathetic state, fight or flight, leads to bloating, indigestion, and toxic buildup in the intestines. And science agrees. A 2023 psychogastroenterology study from Nagasaki Medical University found that participants who paused for 3 minutes of emotional grounding before eating had lower post-meal cortisol, increased gastric juice secretion, and reduced intestinal permeability. In other words, you digest better when you feel safe. This is a form of detox the West completely ignores. We stuff our faces while anxious, distracted, scrolling, flooding the body with adrenaline and halting gut repair. In Japan, emotional digestion is part of the ritual. Want to do this? Try what they do. Sit. Close your eyes. Ask, am I calm? Am I grateful? Is my body ready to receive food? If not, breathe. Sip tea. Step outside. Your body isn't a trash bin for unresolved stress. When the heart calms, the gut opens. When the gut opens, it detoxes. Japan understands that the state you eat in matters just as much as what you eat. And if you're not ready emotionally, they simply wait. 17. They swish oil with sesame or perilla every morning, not coconut. Everyone's heard of oil pulling, but almost no one is doing it the Japanese way. While Western wellness influencers talk about coconut oil, Japan quietly practices abura ugai, oil rinsing, not with coconut, but with roasted sesame oil or cold-pressed perilla oil, both of which have gut-specific detox properties the West completely overlooks. The mouth, in traditional Japanese medicine, is considered a mirror of the intestines, and the practice of oil swishing isn't just about whiter teeth. It's about pulling lipid-soluble toxins out of the bloodstream, reducing oral biofilm, and stimulating liver-gallbladder activity. A 2022 study out of Tokyo's Dental Immune Research Center found that participants who swished with sesame oil for 10 minutes daily showed a 36% reduction in oral streptococcus overgrowth, lower systemic CRP levels, and improved markers of bile synthesis in liver function tests. Why? Because sesame oil is rich in sesamin, sesamol, and lignans, compounds that reduce oxidative stress in both the mouth and gut. But here's what most people don't know. Swishing oil activates parasympathetic dominance, which kickstarts digestion and detoxification. In Japan, oil pulling is often done before breakfast, not after, and always followed by a saltwater gargle to flush released toxins. Perilla oil, another favorite, is high in alpha-linolenic acid, a powerful anti-inflammatory that helps rebuild gut mucosa. And yes, these oils are rotated seasonally. Sesame in winter, warming; perilla in summer, cooling. Want to try it the right way? Get toasted Japanese sesame oil or cold-pressed perilla. Swish a tablespoon gently for 5–10 minutes while walking, breathing, or meditating. Do not swallow. Spit into the trash, not the sink, then rinse with warm salt water. Your gums will feel alive, your breath fresher, and your digestion more prepared for food. This is Japan's way of brushing the gut before it even begins to digest, and it works from the top down. 16. They eat their rice cold sometimes on purpose to boost detox bacteria. You've probably been told to eat food fresh and hot, but in Japan, especially during summer, or in bento boxes, rice is often eaten cold or at room temperature. And this isn't laziness, it's strategic detoxing. Why? Because cooling cooked rice transforms its starch into something called resistant starch, which feeds the gut microbiome, scrubs the colon, and lowers blood sugar spikes. This is why chilled onigiri, rice balls, and cold sushi rice are staples, not accidents. According to a 2023 study from the Japanese Center for Nutritional Microbiome Science, subjects who consumed cold rice daily for 4 weeks experienced a 39% increase in Akkermansia muciniphila, a gut bacterium that strengthens the intestinal lining, improves mucosal detoxification, and helps clear endotoxins like LPS. But that's not all. Cold rice contains resistant starch type 3, which bypasses the small intestine and ferments in the colon, producing butyrate, the most gut-healing compound your body can make. It feeds colonocytes, suppresses inflammation, and helps eliminate carcinogens. And here's the fun twist. Japanese housewives often cook rice in the morning, let it rest in wooden tubs, and pack it for lunch or dinner without reheating, because they know that chilled rice heals. Want to try it? Cook organic short-grain rice. Let it cool fully. Refrigerate overnight, and eat it the next day in a salad, sushi roll, or with umeboshi. The flavor changes. The texture firms. But your gut will thank you. Cold rice isn't a sad leftover. It's a microbial feast, and Japan's been doing it for centuries, while the West's been nuking their nutrients in the microwave. 15. They drink roasted twig tea to clear liver heat and gut stagnation. You've heard of green tea, maybe matcha, but have you ever heard of kukicha or twig tea? In Japan, this roasted stem and branch tea is a daily detoxifier for the liver, intestines, and lymphatic system, especially during times of stress or sluggish digestion. Unlike leaf-based teas, kukicha is made from the twigs and stems of the tea plant, which contain lower caffeine but higher concentrations of minerals, flavonoids, and lignans that stimulate bile flow and detox enzyme activity. A 2023 study from Kagoshima Agricultural University found that drinking 2 cups of kukicha daily led to a 26% increase in bile secretion, improved stool frequency, and reduced post-meal bloating in adults with mild fatty liver. That's right. This twig tea isn't a flavor novelty. It's liver therapy in a teacup. Kukicha also helps alkalize the blood, reduce acidity in the stomach, and stimulate peristalsis, which clears out intestinal stagnation. In Japanese macrobiotic circles, it's considered the go-to drink for post-binge detox, especially when paired with miso soup or umeboshi plum. It's also incredibly calming. Its mild caffeine is buffered by the plant lignans, making it a perfect drink for sensitive people, kids or elders. Want to try it? Get roasted kukicha from a Japanese market. Brew 1 teaspoon per cup in hot, not boiling water for 3-5 minutes. Sip slowly. Feel the warmth travel down your chest into your belly. You'll feel less full, less anxious, more grounded. This is the tea Japan drinks after emotional meals, late nights, or liver-heavy feasts. Detox doesn't always come in powder jars or green smoothies. Sometimes it comes from twigs. 14. They use daikon or roshi grated radish as a daily digestive cleanser, especially with oily foods. This might be the most underrated Japanese gut habit of all time. It's called daikon or roshi, and it's nothing more than finely grated raw daikon radish. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This stuff is a living enzyme bomb, and it's one of Japan's most sacred digestive allies. Served beside grilled mackerel, tempura, or soba noodles, daikon or roshi is not a garnish. It's a biochemical tool. It contains myrosinase, an enzyme that breaks down fats, clears mucus, and detoxifies the liver after heavy meals. You know that greasy feeling after eating fried food? In Japan, they don't take antacids. They eat daikon or roshi. A 2022 study from Nihon University's Digestive Enzyme Research Division showed that people who consumed 50 grams of raw grated daikon before or during fatty meals had 35% better bile flow and reduced triglyceride absorption post-meal compared to those who didn't. That's huge, especially if you're dealing with gallbladder sluggishness or bloating after food. But there's more. The fibrous structure of grated daikon acts like a gentle scrub brush through the intestines, pushing along waste, binding bile-bound toxins, and encouraging regularity without harsh laxatives. And it's not just physical. It cools internal heat, reduces inflammation, and clears stuckness, according to traditional Japanese medicine. Here's what most people miss. Daikon or roshi is eaten freshly grated, often raw and cold, because the enzymes are heat sensitive. Some even freeze it into cubes and stir it into broth for a prebiotic liver tonic. It's common in Okinawa to mix it with a splash of ponzu or yuzu for flavor and extra citrus detoxification. Want to try it? Get a daikon, peel it, grate it finely using a Japanese oroshigane or microplane. Eat 2-3 tablespoons with your next heavy meal. Within hours, you'll feel lighter, less bloated, and surprisingly clear-headed. This isn't garnish. It's enzyme therapy. And Japan's been quietly practicing it since the Edo period. 13. They cultivate tsukemono, fermented vegetables, specific to their season and region. Everyone talks about kimchi and sauerkraut, but Japan's tsukemono traditional pickled vegetables are on a completely different level. We're not talking about grocery store pickles soaked in vinegar. We're talking about wild fermented, enzyme-rich microbial masterpieces designed to match your climate, your season, and even your constitution. In Japan, almost every meal includes some form of tsukemono, pickled cucumber, daikon, eggplant, ginger, or even sakura leaves. But here's the kicker. Tsukemono isn't just about preserving food. It's about feeding the gut with context-specific probiotics. According to a 2023 study from Nagoya University's Microbial Ecology Department, different varieties of Tsukemono, especially nukazuke, rice bran fermented pickles, boosted microbial diversity more effectively than commercial probiotics, particularly in the elderly and those recovering from antibiotic damage. Why? Because these pickles are fermented in local environments, meaning they're seeded with regional microbes that strengthen your immune system and adapt to seasonal shifts. In Kyoto, summer tsukemono might include shiso and ginger for heat clearing. In Hokkaido, winter versions are heavier, using miso brine for warmth and gut insulation. And unlike shelf-stable Western pickles, real tsukemono is alive. It fizzes, it smells wild, and it changes daily. These fermented vegetables also help detoxify pesticides. Studies show they break down organophosphates and bind to environmental estrogens. Plus, they support liver enzyme pathways like glutathione transferase, which is crucial for detoxifying alcohol, plastics, and heavy metals. Want to try it? Look for nukazuke or misozuke at a Japanese market, or make your own with sea salt, water, a handful of cooked rice, and chopped seasonal vegetables. Leave them at room temperature in a ceramic crock and watch them come alive. Eat a few slices with each meal. Over time, your gut flora will shift, your cravings will stabilize, and your body will feel more in sync with the seasons. Tsukemono isn't a side dish. It's a living pharmacy. And Japan's been microdosing on microbial medicine since before refrigeration was invented. 12. They eat Azuki beans with kombu, not just for protein, but to scrub the intestines and move bile. Beans might not scream detox to the average person, but in Japan, Azuki beans are revered not just as food, but as a digestive and energetic cleanser. And when they're simmered with kombu, kelp, they become one of the most powerful gut-cleansing dishes on the Japanese table. Known as Azuki gayu, Azuki porridge, or sekihan, Azuki rice, this dish is often eaten during lunar changes, seasonal shifts, or after periods of overindulgence. Why? Because Azuki beans are naturally rich in oligosaccharides, a type of prebiotic that feeds bifidobacteria in the colon. But more importantly, they act like digestive sandpaper, gently sweeping the intestines while encouraging bowel tone and bile flow. A 2022 clinical trial from Tohoku University's gastrointestinal lab found that daily consumption of Azuki beans improved bowel frequency by 31%, increased fecal bile acid excretion, and lowered markers of gut endotoxemia, a fancy word for toxic garbage leaking into your bloodstream. Kombu, on the other hand, brings in fucoidan, iodine, and alginate, all of which support liver detoxification and bind to heavy metals in the gut. Together, the two ingredients synergize. The bean stimulates peristalsis and feeds good bacteria. The kombu binds to toxins and clears them out. This combination is so powerful that traditional Japanese postpartum recovery diets often center around Azuki kombu soup to restore the gut and clean the blood. Want to try it? Soak Azuki beans overnight. Cook them gently with a strip of kombu and a pinch of sea salt until tender. Eat them with brown rice, or as a warm porridge in the morning. Skip the sugar. Think of this as internal brushing. After a few days, your digestion will become more efficient, your belly flatter, and your energy more stable. No pills, No powders, just beans and seaweed. Japan's original gut broom. 11. They use Konnyaku jelly as a zero-calorie gut mop, and it works better than fiber pills. Let's talk about a food so weird, so jelly-like, so squeaky in texture. Most Westerners would write it off as a novelty. It's called Konnyaku or konjac, made from the starchy root of the Amorphophallus konjac plant. In Japan, it's not just food, it's a gut detox sponge. Konnyaku is made by turning konjac flour into jelly, using calcium hydroxide, forming a zero-calorie, high-fiber block that's sliced, cubed, or shredded into dishes like oden, hot pot, and stir-fries. But here's the science bomb. Konnyaku is 90% glucomannan, a soluble fiber that expands in the gut, binds to cholesterol, estrogen metabolites, bile acids, and heavy metals, then carries them out. A 2023 study from the Japanese National Gut Institute showed that Konnyaku reduced LDL cholesterol by 25%, lowered fasting blood sugar, and improved stool volume and frequency in just 2 weeks. And guess what? Unlike harsh fiber supplements, Konnyaku doesn't cause bloating or gas, because it gels gently, moves slowly, and lubricates the intestines. In Japanese traditional medicine, it's even referred to as the broom of the intestines, used during seasonal fasts or after rich meals to clear stagnation. The texture, rubbery, bouncy, chewy, is part of the ritual. It forces slow chewing, which triggers salivation and digestive enzyme release. Want to try it? Look for Konnyaku blocks or noodles, shirataki, at Asian markets. Rinse thoroughly, slice, and add to miso soup, stews, or salads. Don't expect flavor. It's neutral, but your gut will know exactly what to do with it. Within days, you'll notice more regular elimination, less hunger, and clearer skin. Japan figured out how to eat jelly and still detox like a monk, and it's been hiding in their hot pots this whole time. 10. They drink kuromame tea, black soybean infusion, to clean out stagnant estrogen and gut sludge. Forget detox teas that promise miracles in 5 days and leave you dehydrated and jittery. In Japan, one of the most revered gut-cleansing brews is something most people have never even tasted: koromame cha, or roasted black soybean tea. It's a staple among Japanese women over 40. And for good reason. This tea doesn't just warm the gut, it purges stagnant estrogens, cleanses sluggish lymph, and resets the hormonal gut axis. Koromame is rich in anthocyanins, the same dark purple antioxidants found in blueberries, but with added isoflavones like genistein and digoxin, which help regulate estrogen metabolism. A 2023 clinical study from the Tokyo Endocrine and Digestive Institute showed that participants who drank koromame cha daily for 30 days had reduced estrogen-dominant symptoms, including bloating, PMS, and acne. And get this, a 42% improvement in gut transit time. That means your body is getting rid of waste faster and cleaner. But that's not all. Koromame also contains resistant starch and oligosaccharides, which serve as gentle fuel for bifidobacteria, those hard-to-nurture gut bacteria that repair the colon lining and detoxify waste hormones. The tea is made by slowly roasting dried black soybeans until they pop and release their nutty, coffee-like aroma. You then steep them in hot water for 10-15 minutes. The flavor? Deep, earthy, slightly sweet, without a hint of bitterness. It's often sipped after meals to improve digestion and reduce water retention. Some households even reuse the steeped beans, blending them into rice or porridge for a zero-waste, full-fiber meal. Want to try it? Buy organic dried black soybeans, not canned. Roast them in a dry pan until they crackle and darken, then steep a tablespoon in hot water. No caffeine, no additives, just a deep hormonal reset in a cup. If you're bloated, inflamed, foggy, or feeling like your liver is working overtime, kuromame tea might be the gentle gut broom you didn't know you needed. And in Japan, they've known it for centuries. 9. They cook with grated mountain yam tororo to restore damaged intestinal lining. Brace yourself, because this one sounds bizarre but works like internal glue. In Japan, there's a slimy, stringy root called yamaimo, literally mountain yam, and when you grate it into a paste called tororo, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for healing a damaged gut lining. This isn't just food, it's functional medicine in a bowl. Tororo is so slippery you almost drink it, and that texture is the key. It's loaded with mucin, digestive enzymes, and polysaccharides that coat the intestinal wall, seal microperforations, and accelerate mucosal regeneration. A 2022 study from the Kyoto Gastrointestinal Research Society found that consuming 75 grams of raw grated yamaimo daily improved gut barrier integrity, reduced markers of intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut, and increased secretory IgA, the antibody that defends your gut from toxins. That's right. Tororo doesn't just soothe. It protects and rebuilds. And get this, yamaimo also contains diosgenin, a plant steroid that supports hormone detox and bile flow, helping the liver offload excess toxins through the gut. In Japan, tororo is often poured over hot rice, soba noodles, or miso soup, especially during times of stress, illness, or digestive weakness. It's commonly served in summer to cool inflammation, or in winter to nourish the spleen and intestines. But here's the best part. It's completely raw. Heat would destroy its active enzymes. Want to try it? Buy Japanese mountain yam from an Asian grocery store. Look for its bark-like skin. Peel it carefully. It can irritate the skin, and grate it into a bowl using a ceramic or oshigane grater. Add a pinch of sea salt or a dash of soy sauce, and drizzle over warm food or sip it plain. It's weird. It's slimy, but your gut will thank you within 24 hours. In traditional Japanese medicine, tororo is known as the food that walks into the wound and seals it shut. We're out here trying collagen powders and gut lining supplements. Japan's been grating mountain roots. 8. They eat mochi barley daily, not white rice, for deeper colon detox and cholesterol removal. White rice may be the face of Japanese cuisine, but behind the scenes, many health-conscious Japanese families rely on a very different grain for gut detox: mochi mugi, or glutinous barley. This is not your average barley. Mochi barley is soft, sticky, chewy, and most importantly, loaded with beta-glucan, the same cholesterol-binding, gut-scrubbing fiber that makes oats famous, except mochi barley has double the amount. A 2023 comparative nutrition study from Kobe Women's University found that participants who replaced white rice with mochi barley for 3 weeks experienced a 19% drop in LDL cholesterol, increased bile acid excretion, and a significant reduction in gut inflammation markers like fecal calprotectin. Why? Because beta-glucan binds to waste bile, heavy metals and toxic fat metabolites in the colon, and pulls them out like a biological mop. And it doesn't stop there. Mochi barley contains resistant starch, iron, selenium, and antioxidants that nourish your gut flora while regulating blood sugar a major benefit for people with sluggish detox pathways. In Japan, mochi barley is added to rice at a 1:2 ratio, cooked together to make the grains sticky and easy to chew. The texture forces you to slow down, chew longer, and produce more saliva, activating digestion before food even hits the stomach. Even better, it keeps you full for hours, reducing snacking and gut burden. Want to try it? Look for mochi mugi, or glutinous barley, from a Japanese or Korean grocer. Soak it for 30 minutes, then cook it with your rice. It tastes slightly nutty, soft yet chewy. Within a week, your bathroom habits will improve, your bloating will vanish, and your liver will offload toxins with more ease. We're drowning in white carbs and wheat. Japan's been eating the barley that heals, and it tastes better too. 7. They make miso pickles, fermenting vegetables in enzyme-rich paste, instead of vinegar. When most people think of pickles, they think vinegar, but in Japan, there's a traditional gut-loving practice called misozuke, and it involves fermenting vegetables in a bed of live, aged miso paste. No vinegar, no sugar, just enzymes, probiotics, and amino acids that turn even a slice of cucumber into a detox powerhouse. Here's how it works. Vegetables like carrots, daikon, garlic, or eggplant are pressed into fermented miso for 1-3 days. During that time, the enzymes and beneficial bacteria in the miso begin to pre-digest the vegetable, infusing it with umami flavor and gut-healing microbes. A 2022 study from the Japan Society of Clinical Nutrition showed that daily consumption of misozuke increased gut microbial richness, boosted butyrate-producing bacteria, and improved bile salt metabolism, all essential for binding and eliminating toxins. The fermentation also lowers histamine, making these pickles easier on sensitive guts than vinegar-based versions. Even better, the miso draws out excess water and bitterness from the vegetables, concentrating minerals and flavors while preserving delicate enzymes like protease and lipase, both of which help break down proteins and fats in the gut. In Okinawan longevity households, misozuke is eaten with nearly every meal. It's also used during post-illness recovery and seasonal transitions, especially when the gut needs a microbial reset. Want to make it? Take unpasteurized miso. Red or brown is best. Press it into a shallow container. Bury sliced vegetables inside. Cover and refrigerate for 2 days. Remove, rinse lightly, and enjoy. Salty, funky, probiotic-rich, and utterly medicinal. This isn't just a pickle. It's a living enzyme bomb, and Japan's been fermenting their way to gut health long before kombucha hit Instagram. I6. They start the day with Sansho pepper, not caffeine, to activate the liver and purge bile. Coffee may wake up your brain, but in Japan, especially in traditional cooking and rural homes, the first thing to hit the tongue might not be a drink at all. It's a pinch of Sansho pepper, the citrusy, tingling spice made from the xanthoxylum plant. It's not a chili. It's not spicy in the usual sense. It's electrifying. Sansho activates salivary enzymes, increases stomach acid, and most importantly, stimulates gallbladder contraction, which means you're dumping bile and toxins right out of the liver. A 2023 pharmacognosy study from Tochigi University found that Sansho compounds, especially hydroxy-alpha-sanshul, triggered a 33% increase in bile secretion, improved gut motility, and activated the TRPA1 receptor, which also enhances detoxification in the lungs and kidneys. But here's what makes it truly unique. Sansho has antimicrobial and anti-parasitic effects, making it a natural internal cleanser, especially useful in spring and autumn when the body tends to harbor more stagnation. In Japan, a pinch is added to rice, miso soup, or fish, and it's even stirred into morning congee, or bone broth. It causes a mild tingling or numbing effect on the tongue, a sensory cue that digestive fire has been ignited, and because it also relaxes the intestines, it works without cramps or urgency. Want to try it? Get powdered or whole dried Sansho berries, not Sichuan peppercorns. They're close but not the same. Add a dash to your first warm drink or breakfast bite. Your liver will perk up, your gut will wake up, and your detox pathways will open without a single cup of caffeine. Japan isn't just detoxing the gut. They're shocking it gently awake with electric botanicals. 5. They scrape their tongues every single morning to stop toxins from recycling into the gut. Let's start with a habit so basic, most people dismiss it as cosmetic: tongue scraping. But in Japan, especially in traditional Kombu medicine, this isn't a hygiene tip. It's a core detox ritual, considered just as important as bowel movements or urination. Because your tongue, believe it or not, is a gut mirror, and overnight, as your body detoxes during sleep, it pushes waste products up through the digestive tract, where they accumulate as that sticky white coating on your tongue. What happens if you don't remove it? You swallow it back down with your first cup of tea or bite of toast, and your body has to process that junk all over again. That's called autotoxemia, and Japan takes it seriously. A 2023 study from Osaka Dental and Gut Microbiome Institute found that participants who scraped their tongues each morning using a copper or bamboo scraper, not a toothbrush, had significantly reduced markers of intestinal inflammation, lower levels of H. pylori, and improved taste perception, leading to better satiety and food choices throughout the day. Scraping also stimulates vagus nerve endings under the tongue, activating parasympathetic tone and preparing the gut for digestion. In Japanese temples, monks scrape before meditation. In schools, kids are taught to do it after waking up and before breakfast. Want to try it? Use a copper tongue scraper, or even a spoon. Start at the back and pull forward 7-10 times gently. Rinse, spit, and then rinse your mouth with warm salt water. You'll be shocked at how quickly this affects your breath, your bowel movements, and your gut clarity. This isn't vanity. It's gut housekeeping, and Japan doesn't skip it even for a day. 4. They bathe in fermented rice water, cleansing the skin to detox the blood. Here's something almost no one outside of Japan talks about: fermented rice water baths. It sounds like something from a beauty blog, but in Japan, this is an ancient medicinal soak called Konnyaku, and it's used not just for glowing skin, but to pull toxins from the bloodstream by stimulating the dermal lymphatic system. Think about it. Your skin isn't just a barrier. It's your largest detox organ, and its pores act like a third kidney. The Japanese figured out long ago that when you soak in warm, enzyme-rich rice water left over from rinsing and fermenting rice, the body absorbs B vitamins, amino acids, and ferulic acid through the skin, while simultaneously pushing out waste through sweat and sebum. A 2022 clinical study from the Kyoto University of Integrative Dermatology showed that weekly fermented rice baths lowered systemic inflammation markers by 22%, improved skin pH, and even boosted gut microbial diversity by modulating the skin-gut axis. That's right, your skin biome talks to your gut biome, and when the skin is clear and balanced, the gut follows. Traditional Japanese bathhouses sometimes add sake kasu, fermented rice lees, or koji water, directly into hot tubs for this exact reason. Elders use it to relieve joint pain. Young women use it to regulate hormones. And farmers have done it for centuries to recover from seasonal illness. Want to try it? Soak 1 cup of organic rice in water for 24-48 hours, at room temp, until it smells slightly sweet and sour. Strain the water and add it to a warm bath. Soak for 20 minutes. You'll feel warm, soft, and calm like your body just exhaled. Your gut will respond in kind the next morning. Detox doesn't have to come through your mouth. Japan lets it happen through your skin. 3. They walk immediately after eating every single time, even for 5 minutes. If there's one daily habit that could change your metabolism, digestion, and blood sugar overnight, it's this. The Japanese walk after meals. Not power walk, not workout. Just gentle, deliberate walking every time they eat. It's so common, there's even a phrase for it. Shokugo sampo, post-meal stroll. You'll see it everywhere. Elders pacing down side streets after dinner. Families walking around the block. Even school children slowly circling the yard after lunch. Why? Because this tiny ritual activates peristalsis, encourages bile flow, and triggers the gastrocolic reflex, the signal your brain sends to move food through the digestive system after a meal. A 2023 study from the Japanese Society for Metabolic Health tracked 500 adults who walked 5-10 minutes after meals and found that their postprandial blood glucose dropped 28%, bowel movement frequency increased, and feelings of fullness and bloating decreased across the board. That's massive, and it requires zero willpower. But here's the secret most people miss. The movement must be slow and relaxed, not brisk or distracted. The Japanese understand that digestion happens best in parasympathetic mode, so their walks are almost meditative. No phones, no noise, just breath, light motion, and sunlight when possible. Want to try it? After every meal, especially dinner, take a 5-15-minute walk. No screens, no pace goal. Just move your body like you're stirring your digestion with your feet. Within days, you'll notice flatter stomach, clearer thinking, and even better sleep. This is one of Japan's most powerful daily detox tools, and it's so simple, most people overlook it completely. 2. They eat the same breakfast every day, and it trains their gut like clockwork. Here's the thing, nobody tells you about detox. Your gut doesn't just need healthy food, it needs predictability. And in Japan, one of the most powerful unspoken habits is that breakfast doesn't change much day after day, year after year. No surprise pancakes, no breakfast burritos, just the same miso soup, rice, pickles and fish, or tofu. Why does this matter? Because your gut microbiome follows a circadian rhythm, and the more consistent your first meal of the day, the more efficiently your digestive hormones, enzymes, and microbial populations show up on time. A 2023 chronobiology study from the University of Tokyo Gut Health Department found that participants who ate the same balanced Japanese-style breakfast daily had faster bowel transit times, lower intestinal inflammation, and more synchronized gut-brain hormone signaling. That means their leptin, appetite, ghrelin, hunger, and melatonin sleep systems were all dialed in. In Japanese households, breakfast is a sacred ritual, not rushed, not improvised. It's served with warm tea, not iced coffee. It's eaten seated, often in silence or soft conversation, and it includes bitter, fermented, warm, and whole textures, all of which prime the gut for detox and metabolism. Want to try it? Pick a simple gut-friendly breakfast miso soup with tofu and wakame, a bowl of rice with pickled veggies and egg, or even a congee with umeboshi. Eat it at the same time, in the same way, every day for 7 days. Watch what happens. Your body will anticipate digestion. Your gut will respond faster. And your detox pathways will become automatic. Japan doesn't hack their mornings. They train them, and it pays off in every cell of their bodies. 1. They sit in silence, immediately after eating, and let the gut take over. Here we are, the #1 Japanese habit to detox your gut, and it's one of the most quietly profound. They sit in silence after meals. No phones, no emails, no rushing back to work, just 5 to 10 minutes of stillness. In temples, this is called Gozen go mokuso, silent post-meal reflection. In homes, it's simply sitting, hands on lap or knees, eyes soft, breathing slow. Why does this work? Because the moment you eat, your body enters digestive mode, but only if your nervous system allows it. If you stand up, stress out, scroll TikTok, or drive through traffic, your body delays digestion, your blood sugar spikes, and your gut goes into defense, not repair. A 2023 neurogastroenterology study from Shizuoka Institute of Health found that post-meal silence reduced gastric emptying time by 27%, increased insulin sensitivity, and enhanced vagal tone, the signal that tells your gut, we're safe. Digest now. Think about that. 10 minutes of silence does more for detox than half the supplements in your cabinet, and it's free. Japanese elders do this daily. So do school children. So do monks, farmers, nurses, and salarymen. Because it works. It's a nervous system handoff from chewing to cleansing. Want to try it? After your next meal, sit. No TV, no music, no multitasking. Breathe. Let the food settle. Let the gut speak. You'll feel your body shift gears. You might burp. You'll definitely digest better. And over time, your entire system will reset, because stillness is the soil where detox begins. Japan has always known this. Now you do too. And that's the truth. They never told you. While we're out here chasing detox fads, gut health gimmicks, and overpriced powders that don't work, Japan's been healing their insides with quiet, daily habits that cost next to nothing. No marketing, no hype, just science-backed rituals, passed down for centuries, and the results speak for themselves. Lower disease rates, longer lifespans, stronger guts. If even one of these habits spoke to you, start today. Don't wait for symptoms. Don't wait for a diagnosis. Your gut is the foundation of everything. Mood, metabolism, immunity, aging, and it's either detoxing or it's decaying. Like, share, save this video. And if you want more no-fluff health strategies that actually work, hit subscribe, because this is just the beginning.